There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino is the name. Hey, yo, what's going on right now? You're watching Casino is the name. And in this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about a topic that has been kind of reoccurring in my personal life. And I've just been learning a lot about different people's perspectives of money. And I told you guys before, if you watched any of my previous videos, I told you that I was looking to turn this channel more in the direction of financial literacy. And man, I've just learned so much. And one of the people that I know from back home reached out to me and asked me about my house and what occupation that I have that affords me this lifestyle, right? And I was like, well, it's this house. It's nothing crazy. I love my home, but it's not like I want something bigger. I want a house 3 times the size. I want a mansion. But this is cool. I could stay in this house forever, right? And it's enough space for me. But they were like, how could I afford to drive a Porsche, live in a house like this? Like, what occupation, what job pays enough for you to do that? And I said, well, I am an accountant, but I also have other things going on, but I'm an accountant. And I broke down like my salary and other incomes that I had coming in. This is a person that I know or whatever. So I broke that stuff down, just told them like, yeah, you can just, get you a decent career, get into skilled labor or become a business owner or independent contractor or something like that. You can make a decent living. You don't have to make a lot of money to live in a house like this. Like, this is not like, you don't have to be a high income individual. Plus, if you have other people contributing to the household, see, I don't have anybody else contributing to this household. So if you did have other people like contributing to the household, like 3, 4 other people, you get a house probably 2 or 3, 4 times this size, right? But to make a mortgage on something like this, my mortgage is only 13, I think 1343, 13, let's just say 1350. It's less than 1350 a month. And that includes insurance, taxes, and principal and interest. Okay. So it's not like a crazy amount of money. There are people staying in apartments paying 15, 1600 per month, and their apartment costs are more than my mortgage. And over time, my mortgage won't go up very much because it's only going to go up based off of the taxes. So taxes will go up some over the next few years, but it's not going to be like, say, somebody I know who's in an apartment paying 1400 right now, 14 something, and their rent is going up $300 next month. And so they're moving, of course. I don't know if it's next month. Well, the rent is going up $300. I think they come out of their lease in another month or 2 or something. So that's that, right? And so they were asking me like, about salaries and things like that. And I said, okay, well, first, tell me more about your area. And I asked them what salary would be good. Because what I like to do is I like to work in reverse, right? If you told me you wanted to make $200,000 a year, I would probably, giving you career advice, guide you to a career that'll pay you around $200,000 a year on average, because not every career pays on average about $200,000 a year. So I would guide you to something like that. If you said that you were trying to make something around 80, 90,000 a year, I would guide you to a career where I feel like you can easily do 80, $90,000 a year on average and be fine. So I say I like to work in reverse. So I asked, how much money would you need to, what you consider good money? What would you be happy with? And they said, well, based on everything that I know, all the people I know, if I made $16 an hour, I'd be good. That's like really good money for me. Like, I'd be able to provide things for my kid. I'd be straight, like I have a nice spot. I'd be good, like $16 an hour for everybody I know. Most people make less than $16 an hour. So I knew I could survive off of less, but if I made $16 an hour, that'd be great. And $16 an hour, of course, things are based off of like where you are and things like that. Like rent costs might be considerably lower in those areas and things like that. Possibly even food costs, I don't know. But things might be a lot less in those areas. But $16 an hour in today's economy, in today's world, I'm not trying to be funny here at all, but $16 an hour is not good money. But that's my perspective. But $16 an hour, I wouldn't consider anywhere close to being good money. Maybe livable. I I don't know. I don't know if it's livable, but $16 an hour, I just wouldn't think that's good money. Now, I know people now, have different situations. Maybe you have a house paid off. Maybe your car is paid off. Maybe your kids are grown. Maybe you have child support coming in, or maybe you have parents that help out. Maybe you have, like, whatever your situation is. Just as an individual, to take care of like your life with no help, $16 an hour would be very, very difficult to survive in this modern era, because $16 an hour, okay, 30 almost 30 years ago or so, almost 30 years ago, my mom made like $17 an hour, and we were still in the hood. You know what I'm saying? We still was in the hood, like, and so, but that was decent money. That was like really good money for that time. But that was almost 30 years ago. It's a different time. Like, things are 3, 4 times more expensive. College is 4 times more expensive, or 5 times more expensive than it was 30 years ago. Food costs have tripled, quadrupled. Gas prices have gone. 30 years ago, gas was super cheap. Okay, it's at least 3, 4 times. I think we've probably even seen 6 times what gas prices were at a period of time back then. Car prices, it's just so many things are just way more expensive than they are, they were much more affordable back then than they are now. And it's just crazy to think that we are 30 years later still looking at salaries less than what my mom made back then when we were still in the hood as good money. Like people are still seeing that as good money. And so I felt like it was just worth the conversation to say what would be considered good money in today's world. And let me see. I think it was $100,000 turns into, if you divided $100,000 by 2,080 hours, and I get the 2,080 hours from full time is considered 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year. I believe it's 2,080 hours. So 2,080 hours going into $100,000 is about $48 an hour. Okay. If you're going to be an individual adult, I know. The society says that $100,000 is probably in the top two. If you make $100,000 a year as an individual, you're probably in the top 8 to 10% of the population as far as income goes. So it apparently is like a major drop off. From 100,000 is a major drop off. Like, most people, I guess, individuals don't make $100,000 a year. I might be in circles where $100,000 a year is like the standard, like not even any money. And I was just talking to someone who called their friend to find out what amount of money, because we were having this, how much money is a good amount, and their friend said that she wouldn't date if she was going to seriously date a guy, he needed to make at least $200,000 a year. That was crazy, right? And but she has money. She's in a circle of maybe millionaires or whatever like that, and to her that was like low hanging fruit. Now I'm not saying anything. I'm not. I think $200,000 a year is really really good money, right? Especially when compared to the rest of the population, because you can make probably like 150,000 and be in the top 6% of the population, but 200,000 I think is a lot of money. She thinks that's low hanging fruit. So it's all going to be based off of perspective. But the way I do it is I look at what the cost of living has done over the last few years. Let's say over 10-year time frame, you're looking at, let's say, a 3% adjustment for inflation. Say inflation, which inflation is going to be tremendous in like these last couple years from 2020 to 2022 or 2025. Inflation is going crazy. Things are just skyrocketing. It's getting very expensive. And so with looking at how much things are going up and housing costs and things like that, car costs, travel, everything is just going to go up, right? Because of inflation. The cost to ship goods, food prices is going up. Everything is just going up, right? And so with everything going up and inflation being, let's say inflation is somewhere around 3%, or in the past it was somewhere around 3% every year. So 3% a year inflation over a 10-year time frame, 3% times 10 years is 30%. So things go up 30%, right? Your income needs to go up. Now, and let's just say that's in just general inflation, but the cost of houses has doubled, or is supposed to double every 10 years. The cost of cars has gone up. When you look at over a 20 and 30-year time frame, and things have tripled and quadrupled, that means your income needs to triple or quadruple. So at a very least, if $16 an hour should be good now, I think you should at least double it. If you at least double $16 an hour, 16 times 3 would be $48 an hour. Well, that's $100,000, right? It's right at 100,000. I think that it should be standard. And I don't even want to say per household. I think that if you look at it like per person, I think that a couple should be making somewhere between $150,000 and $200,000 a year. I think both people should have that $100,000 mark, or let's say one is maybe bringing in 75, 80, and the other one is bringing in 100. I think that is like a standard that we may need to set, because it's crazy when I hear some of these numbers, and I know people are gonna say, "How is this possible? Like, it's too hard. I don't know anybody making this kind of money." Trust me, it is not that difficult. There are people going to work in a place for $12 and $15 an hour, and I feel like you can make that at home doing almost nothing. As a matter of fact, I want to put this guy business out, but he quit his job to start his personal business because he was making, let's say I want to put his business out, but let's say he washes cars. He washes cars, all right? So he washes cars, he does detailing, makes a decent amount of money detailing cars. And so let's say he was making, I want to say $20 an hour. I feel like he was making $20 an hour. But let's just say he's making $16 an hour. But on the days that he washes cars, he make a whole lot of money. He makes more in one day washing cars and detailing than he does in the entire 2 weeks almost of him going to work. And so when the economy with the pandemic and everything, it was much easier for him to say, you know what, y'all telling us not to come to work. I need some money. Like, it was much easier for him to say, after coming back to work, to say like, you know what, this isn't enough money for me. He got a taste of some kind of real money and said, man, I can make, in this hour that I'm here making $16, $19, $20 an hour, I could be doing that and making, $100 or whatever, or $50 or whatever. So he just eased his way. He was able to walk away from his job and start his own business because he started to see money differently. Because personally, I feel like you could just about find $15 in an hour, like just anywhere, like doing just about anything. Money is everywhere right now, especially with how much money has been printed recently. Money is very easy to come by. Large sums of money may not be easy to come by, but $15 an hour, $20 an hour. Okay, let's say you make $15 an hour. Let's see what that is in an 8-hour day. $15 an hour times 8 hours is $120 in a day. You can get on Uber and drive around and pick up people and make $400-$500 in a day. $100 in a day to go to work for $15 an hour, it just doesn't make any sense. So, it's just making no sense. It's just making no sense for people to consider $16 an hour good money as like good money when you can do Uber make, we're talking like that's $128 in a day. That's in a day, okay? I made $136 on Uber. I wonder if I could pull that up. Because every now and then I like to just try different things, right? So now this was there it is, Uber driver. This was a promotion, but they did the first 3 rides, you make $100. And then I made $36 in a period of like an hour and a half. So in that time frame, I made $136 in an hour and a half. That's more than what the $15 an hour or $16 an hour, $16 an hour times 8 hours is $128. It almost makes no sense, and I can maneuver at my own time, my own pace. I don't need to clock in with nobody. I don't need to do anything. I just do me. And I could have made that salary in that time frame in 2 hours, and I still have 6 more hours that I can go. And even if, let's just say I was making $36 an hour or $25 an hour or so for 8 hours, it's $200, like it's no reason to me personally. I don't understand it. I think that we need to set a new standard, a new precedent, and we need to achieve or try to achieve something greater, So that's why I think financial literacy is so important, because it's not enough of us that even know, and we don't have these conversations at home. Do you know how difficult it is to have conversations about money with family members without making them feel like you're talking down on them? So you have to be very cautious of what you say and all of that. And it's not to talk down on anybody. Hell, I didn't know anything, So, and I don't even at 6 figures, right? So I make 6 figures, but it's not like crazy, nothing crazy, It's I need to be making more money, I'm trying to make more money. So I'm pushing myself. It's just an interesting thing when you're trying to, I don't want to say you're even trying to motivate, but say you're trying to educate. You don't want to make anybody feel bad, but you want to put things into perspective. And so unfortunately, I don't think that we pay attention to anything unless we're shocked into it. But anyway, right now you're watching Casino Is the Name, man. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hey, yo, what's going on? Right now you're watching Casino Is the Name, and if you wanted to know how I started my trucking business, I have an ebook called Big Shot, Hot Shot Volume 1, Own Your Trucking Authority. It's a great book, 5-star reviews. The link will be in the description below. Go get that. Yeah.
Beat me up, Scotty. Me up, Scotty.
Me and her together, we just count it up. Money on my mind, I can't get enough. Don't play with my money, you don't want no beef. Cause I come from the bottom, I come from the street. When she first saw me, she said, who is that? When a man saw me, he called me a threat. I'm the one that really live what a rap. They ain't never did it, they ain't really trap.
You say you want to be successful. Well, what's stopping you? Can't nothing stop you from being successful except for you. You standing in your own way. I came from the bottom. I ain't know nothing but the grind. You can't tell me nothing about that. I caught the bus at Basin Street Projects in Tallahassee, Florida. You hear me? I used to think $1 million would last me my whole life. I'd have made that and spent that. $1 million ain't enough. There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? There's money everywhere. There's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino is the name.